Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Heiko Shaves. My name is Heiko, and as you can see, it's high time for another shave. Today, we are not going to grab really one of my more aggressive razors to get rid of 5 or 6 days of growth at once. The one that I would probably reach for would be the Lupo 95 open comb stainless steel. Really good. This is my go-to razor lately. In the morning, 6 a.m., one pass and I'm clean pretty much. But we're not going to do that today. We're going to go down my comparison list. So a bunch of comparisons were requested in the comment section below my videos. And I have a printed out list here on the side of my mirror. Reminds me daily that I need to keep working at it. And today we're going to compare the Parker Solo Edge, which hasn't gotten much exposure here on this channel. Parker, company from India, they make some quality razors. And if you want to buy something from India, I would probably go with Parker pretty much over anything else from there. We've had a couple weird issues with Pearl, and some strange designs have come out that I really didn't care for at all. Of course, there are always going to be some nice razors. If you buy just a typical normal 3-piece razor, non-adjustable, I think you're going to be fine with any brand out there. I mean, for all I know, you can buy a $10 razor from Amazon and be perfectly fine with that. Yeah, we're going to do the Parker Solo Edge. By the way, Parker, I'm a big fan of. Parker Variant comes to mind. Parker Variant is a clone of the Merkur Progress, but in this case here, it's an open comb. Open comb, Merkur doesn't make a Progress open comb. So Parker Solo Edge uses a half ADE blade, just like my slightly dirty leaf Thorn. I have a leaf twig and a leaf Thorn, and the Thorn is just a smidge more aggressive than the twig. I mean, when I shave them side to side or side by side, you can barely tell the difference. So this is just ever so slightly more aggressive, and I'm putting this up against the Parker Solo Edge, and we're going to find out how those two line up with each other. Like I said, half a DE blade, and this is really the only single edge razor that I really use. If you have to buy injectors for your injector razors, that means that you are starting to buy injector razor blades that are pretty pricey, and there are not really many choices either. And some of those choices are really expensive. If you buy a single edge razor that uses a DE blade, pretty much any DE blade will work, because you can just take a DE blade and snap it in half, and then you have 2 single edge blades. We're not going to do that either. We're going to go with leaf single edge blades. They make them that way, made in Vietnam. It says on the package. I have so many of those that we might as well use those instead of snapping a perfectly fine DE blade in half. I've also seen some single edge razors. Razor Rock makes one, or a whole series of them, that use the more artisan blades that are usually used for shavettes, and they put one of those in the single edge razor. But then again, you have to start buying other razor blades other than DE blades. And if you stick with Parker Solo Edge or the leaf Thorn or the twig, they use a regular normal DE blade, and you snap it in half. And then here, when I take one out of the package, this is what that looks like. So I'm a fan of single edge razors that can use DE blades or half DE blades. So, and now I'm going to just demonstrate how to load this. The twig or the Thorn, they're identical in loading. You open it up all the way, turns 90 degrees like this. Here's a little magnet that just helps you hold the blade in place. So it's not even lined up yet, but it's holding, the magnet is holding the blade in place. And then you got to make sure that you have those 2 little tabs, one there, in the right groove in the blade, and then you just tighten it up. And that looks great. You got to make sure after tightening it's still lined up with the blade here correctly, and that's it. And then the Parker is a little bit more conventional. They just have a screw-on mechanism here. So the base plate and the handle are kind of attached to each other, and the top comes off just like on a regular 2-piece razor. And then you take your razor blade here, your leaf single edge. These leaf single edge blades, they're decently sharp. They have a little bit of wax on it. Some people don't like that. And they hold up for a few shaves. So you put it on there. It also has those little tabs to line up the blade. And hold on. Is there a magnet in here too? I think they have glued in magnets in here. So they also have magnets in here, just like the leaf. So it helps you line up the blade correctly and it doesn't fall down and all that. The alignment tabs they are way more pronounced as on the leaf, but fairly similar. And as long as you make sure the blade is pretty much on those, then you take your top, stick it in here, and then start tightening it up like on any 2-piece razor. Merkur 34C comes to mind. All right, and then you tighten it up, and then you can look at your blade exposure, blade gap kind of deal, and see if it's all lined up. So now we have blades in here. From the loading mechanism, they couldn't be more different. So this is a 1-piece razor, nothing comes apart. You can take it apart. I actually have a video out where I show how to disassemble one of those twig or thorn and to be able to clean it and lubricate it. But yeah, loading, both have a magnet, both have those alignment pins, look completely different, but we're going to use it. So, and then we're going to use some Paraso White pre-shave. Yeah. And now the main players today are going to be Atomic Pumpkin by PAA soap. That's kind of a fall scent. It's pumpkin, little spicy note in there. Lathers really well. This is the formula CK6, which is a vegan option. I don't think there's any tallow in it. Very nice scent. And we're going to combine this with the Atomic Pumpkin Star Jelly Aftershave. Comes out of a little pump bottle here. Works really well. And to calm down the skin after the shave, especially if I have to shave up this much, we're going to use some Thayers in between. My relatively new shave ball. I actually really like it. It's only $11 or $12. Has a very textured, rough surface in here. Helps with lathering up really well. The bottom is not glazed, so it's easy to hold onto. It's not slippery at all. And so that's from now on going to be my go-to little shave ball. So let's apply some shave cream, pre-shave here. Let's see if that helps soften up the bristles here, your stubbles. Yeah, I've really let it go this time. 5 or 6 days. This is really as close to a beard as I have gotten in a long while. We should shave off in stages and go to a mustache first. Let's do it. All right, pre-shave's on. Let's get my little scooper out. Scoop a little bit of some cream out of the container here. Kind of like that. And then I smoosh it to the bottom of the shave ball here. It sticks to that rough surface really well. You can smear that around depending on how hard or soft your shave cream is or your shave soap is. This is very creamy, a little bit pumpkin-y and spicy, obviously. It's perfect for fall. Temperatures have fallen a little bit outside here in Western Nevada, and it has rained last night. That's also very unusual. Doesn't happen very often. All right, and what are we going to lather with? I decided to use my cup here today. Warm water is in there, and we have the Yachi. It's a 24 millimeter Badger that we had a major stink with in the very beginning, but then we did a bunch of treatments, PAA brush soap and whatnot, and it has turned into a pretty nice Badger brush. So do we have everything? 2 loaded razors and the soap, and the aftershave is on the ready here. So now I'm just going to take out my brush, see how well it holds water, and there's lots of water in it. Sink is already filled, the amethyst basin is already filled. And now we're going to go right into my shave bowl here. Badger brush plus the rough surface here in the bowl should make for a really nice lather, I think. And we already have to start taking water. I guess I squeezed out too much. Yeah, very, very nice fall scent. I like it. Pumpkin spice, so to speak. It's not quite Halloween yet, right? But it's funny how here in the US people divide the year up into sections, not by quarter or by week or by month, but rather by, oh yeah, before Labor Day, after Labor Day, before Thanksgiving, or after Halloween. That's kind of the hallmarks or the waypoints of the year, so to speak. The stepping stones of a year, how it progresses, is not by, hey, it's already, end of September or almost end of September. No, it's before this or that public holiday. It's funny how that works. I'm not good at it because I wasn't raised in this tradition. I just moved here, 17 years ago. But of course, I always observe it because people talk like that. All right. Again, I'm lathering way too long for my normal standard procedure here. I just enjoy this new shave ball and the rough texture in there and how easily it creates lots of fine, foamy lather in here. Now we have to squeeze out some out of the brush or else I'm going to be slinging it all over the place. All right, here we go. Lightly warm lather today. Yeah, I had a few days off. I've been entertaining my mom. She's visiting from Germany currently. And I also, in the spare time, when she's resting or doing other things with my wife or my kids, I've been working on my motorcycle. That's why I have like black fingernails. It's terrible. That's why I usually keep really short fingernails because I'm a mechanic at heart. I was once a certified, properly trained German industrial mechanic before I joined the military in Germany and then learned how to fly helicopters. And helicopters has been my life ever since. Now civilian here in the States, but before in the German army for 12 years. Always smear. The bigger the knot is, the higher the chances are that I will rub it into my nostrils. Yeah, so I still work on everything. I work on my vehicles. I don't ever go to a shop. I have a pretty well-equipped shop down below in the garage, below my house. And have everything. I have an inspection pit in my garage where I can do oil changes really fast. And I like vintage vehicles and motorcycles. And I just fixed a motorcycle transmission, did a transmission rebuild. And I just reinstalled it yesterday and it's running. Very happy about it. It's finally done. All right, so let's start shaving. Let's do the leaf thorn on the right with a grain. And there is lots to cut off, but you will see that, first of all, the leaf blades are fairly sharp. I would put them in the sharper category of blades. They are really good. There's no tugging. I can go over all this stubble stuff and it cuts it off and not pull on it. That is very important. I don't know that this whole conversation about, oh yeah, I want a blade that's milder. There is no such a thing in my opinion. There's only blades that are sharp and blades that are dull. And when you have a blade that's dull, let's zoom in a little bit for you. When you have a blade that's dull and you have a lot of stubbles in your face, you will pull on the hair instead of cutting it. And this here, there's no... It still takes a little while to take it all off because there's a lot of material. What I also really enjoy about the thorn is all this rounded over. There's no sharp edge on this thing here anywhere to be found. You can, there's nothing that cuts you, that scrapes you, that really nicely molded. This is really a very unique design and nobody else has even come close to it. It's very... this is very traditional looking. I mean, they just lopped off the other side pretty much. It's a single-sided DE razor. Yeah, those blades are really enjoyable. As I said, I'm going to leave the Luigi for the Mario. All right, and now the other side. Let's see how the Parker Solo Edge can compete. I'm a big fan of the Leaf Thorn, I gotta say, because I've been using it for a long time and it works really well. Blade again does the cutting, but this is a little bit more closed off. Yeah, let's hold it next to each other. So the closer blade gap here. So this is much wider open. There are much bigger channels where the leather and the stubbles can disappear. And here on the Parker, it's really closed off. And so you can see that it's kind of getting clogged, or it's turning into a kind of a snowplow. It just pushes the lather away with the close comb down here, but not really with a blade. It still gets it done. It just takes a little bit more effort. And yeah, you can see it's definitely clogging up under the blade here, whereas there is so much room here on the leaf. This is really good. And it's really the same on the twig, just ever so slightly less. I don't have a blade in here right now, and this is also pretty grungy, but overall design is identical. Just the geometry is slightly different, and you can tell just a little bit. It's not significant. Okay, let's wash off the Luigi. Dirty fingernails, Heiko. My goodness. Now look at this. Shave result left and right is pretty much identical. On the Solo Edge side, it just takes a little bit more, and you have to rinse more often to not clog it up. The leaf doesn't have any problems clogging, really. Let's take a 5-second break and show my mom. She's going to be excited about this mustache.
5 minutes later.
All right, I'm back. My mom said nicht schlecht. Nicht schlecht means not bad. She said maybe a little shorter here on the ends. So let's just do the shaping with one razor here real quick. Oh no. Yeah, no worries. I'm not going to keep a mustache for long, but I think just to be annoying to my wife, I will have to keep it on for a day or two. All right, so we're going to finish off the shave while shaving around a mustache, okay? Is that okay for you guys? Don't get upset now. Don't unsubscribe. Oh, he's growing a beard. I thought this is a shave channel. Not for long. I will never. I just can't. Eventually it starts getting itchy and it's in my way, and then I, eat my own mustache stubbles and nah. So this is just to annoy my wife. Just to get a reaction out of her. All right, here we go. So far, very comparable, but I do like the more open, flowing design of the leaf. So now let's do... Very good. As you know, when I do with the grain up here, it's always against the grain down on my neck. But I found out that that's the best way for me. My skin is not complaining about it. Yeah, now the other side. And now that we are at the point where pretty much everything is shaved off already, I'm noticing that I'm pushing or pressing the razor into my skin much harder on the Parker side to get a equivalent shave result, to get a equivalent shave result here on this side. So I'm using way more pressure on the Parker side because the blade is a little bit more covered up and hidden, even though there is a little bit of some blade gap there. But yeah, it clogs up. There's also one other major difference. So if you look at the center point of the handle, kind of if you would draw a line straight through the handle, the blade here starts almost right at the center point. And here, if you make that same center point line, the blade is moved over further. So you have more overhang. Right, the overhang is much shorter here on this one than on this one, and so this comes more natural to find the right side here on this one. Before I start shaving, I actually have to look at it briefly, that I'm not ending up like this. I don't know, it's just a little bit more overhang, more material on this side. Yeah, overall, I gotta say I like this design better. It's more special. This is the handle. It could be a little thicker. It's heftier. It's heavier for sure. Here with blade. Oh, don't tell me battery is empty. Yep. Battery dead. Another 5-second pause. I'll be right back.
5 minutes later.
2 AAA batteries later. The Parker weighs 93 grams. And the Leaf Thorn 75. So 20 grams difference roughly. But overall, I would say, considering that we had 6 days of growth, they both took it off pretty well. There is still some stuff left. So I feel like I want to do a little pickup pass. I usually don't do that, but in this case, we had so much stubbles, so much material to cut off that you can't really blame those 2 relatively mild razors. So for me personally, I prefer the Thorn or the Twig, just from the handling and the design and how it sits in my hand and how the head is shaped and how the blade is exposed and all that. So I prefer the Thorn, but the solo edge is definitely a mild contender here in the single edge market. And it's good for daily shaving. I mean, if you don't try to cut down 6 days, I think it would do a, let's do an against the grain pass, okay? It will do a good job. Yeah, this razor can handle the lather much better with those big open channels there. In the community, there are some concerns about longevity and material. This is all cast zinc alloy, I would say. Nobody knows how long this mechanism holds up, but like I said, I have a video out on my channel. I'll link it somewhere down below, how to take this apart. Then you can clean it out altogether. Then I always have a bottle of Razor Emporium's razor oil or razor lube in a little bottle, and then put a couple of drops on the threads in there and stuff. So far, I mean, I have used this a lot, and so far there's no problem. This one here, I would say this is probably a brass handle, and then the top is zinc alloy cast, and there are less moving parts. There's less stuff going wrong. So from a longevity standpoint, maybe the Parker would have the edge there, the solo edge. This is pretty handle heavy. This has a massive handle and all the weight is down below. So I like the leaf Thorn just a little better. Which way did I go over here? Oh yeah, maybe this way. I haven't done a against the grain pass in a while, actually, because I had ingrown hair down here. But here in this case, there was still enough stubble left to warrant another pass. All right, I think the razors both did a pretty admirable job. Let's rinse off. Yeah, all right, very good. The CK6 has good residual slickness, takes a while to wash off. That's always a good sign. We still have so much lather in this brush here. We could lather up 5 more times. My little bowl performed admirably for 12 bucks. You can't go wrong with this thing. It's really, really good size. Fits right in the hand. Very good. Both razors, good job, good job. I give the edge to this one here. I don't know. It's just preference, I guess. I like the more rounded over shape. The cutting edge of the blade is much closer to the end of the razor than here. You know, they could have rounded this over. They could have gotten rid of some material here. Yeah, I think this is a good first attempt to making a single edge razor. They could probably come out with a 2.0 version. Following my suggestions, just round it over, try to get the blade a little further uphill, make this whole overhang a little shorter. But overall, admirable, and I think it will work as a daily really well, really well. So let's do some Thayer's Witch Hazel. Just pour a little bit in my hand here. Witch Hazel water, facial toner, sucks the bleeders that we don't have together and calms the skin. And also supposedly reduces wrinkles. There's also some aloe in here. And this is the original alcohol-free. Unfortunately, the label is like really thin paper and it wrinkles up just from being moist once in a while. All right, and then that evaporates, and then we're gonna put a little bit of atomic pumpkin star jelly aftershave on my hand, and then rub that in. A little bit of a burn. Every time I use this pump bottle, I feel like I'm putting on hand sanitizer. That's kind of a strange sensation for me. So there is water, ethanol, caprylic, capric. Yeah, it's very small. Glycerin. Glycerin is always good. I can put some links down below. You guys can read this. It's too small for my aging eyes. Glycerin, butylene glycol. Butylene glycol. That sounds like radiator fluid, coolant. Anyways, good scent, little bit of a burn, which is nice. Sometimes I enjoy it. And it leaves a little bit of some glycerin behind, which is good for the skin. I always use this one here, Glycolid. Comes in tubes too. Has gotten much cheaper on Amazon now. This is my go-to little cream. It's really thick. If you have dry skin on your hands or in your face or the soles of your feet all cracked up, you know, you can use Glycolid. It's great. It's great. This is the stuff I go to. Made in Germany, and they test the living daylights out of it that it's not causing any cancer or whatever. So very good stuff. I put links down below. If you use affiliate links, you inadvertently help the channel because I get a little bit of a kickback from Amazon. I like that better than always signing like deals with manufacturers. So instead of them paying me, Amazon just pays me and you can pick whatever product really. Yeah, PAA, really good stuff. Unfortunately, PAA, they don't know that I exist, I don't think. Maybe they have seen a video or two. Anyways, thanks guys for shaving with me. I hope you like my little Luigi here, but I don't think it's gonna stay. I think it suits me pretty well. I could probably be a fireman. Firemen all have a mustache, or most of them have. All right, that's it guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.